Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. All right. All right. Oops. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for having me here today. My name is Dean Regas. I work at the Cincinnati Observatory. How many of you all have been to the observatory before? Ah, that's pretty good. That's right. Oh, well, glad to hear it. I'm here to tell you about, well, beyond. That's a subject I kind of know a little bit about. In studying things in outer space, we study the stars, the planets, the moon, galaxies, nebulas, comets, all sorts of stuff. So this is our main building at the observatory. We have our secondary building, looks like this. And these have our two old historic telescopes. These telescopes are unbelievable. The one that's our pride and joy just celebrated its 172nd birthday. Imagine a scientific instrument that's working for 172 years. So like 8 generations of Cincinnatians have put their eyes up to this telescope and looked at it and looked through it. And so you all are definitely welcome to come, because we'd love to have you come and see through the telescope. Then that's our old telescope. This is our brand new telescope, 113 years old. And so that's our baby. And so those are our two main instruments. Now, I'm also on a TV show called Stargazers. This is on PBS stations around the country. And it's me and James Albury on the left, and we fly through space on hoverboards, having adventures. I know you guys will appreciate the graphics on this. They look very realistic, don't they? They look top-notch graphics on this. But if you haven't seen the show, that seems very strange, because locally it's on channel 48 at the prime time of 12:55 a.m. So I don't know why you wouldn't have seen it. It seems like everybody's up at that time. But channel 14 has it on a little more often. It's on, I've heard, after Doc Martin. I don't know what that is, but it's on after that. You can also watch it on the internet. That's a little bit easier than staying up till 12:55 in the morning. But we do get some interesting questions. Some people actually do think we go into space, which seems completely ridiculous, and I try not to laugh at them. But we, in fact, film in front of a green screen in North Miami, Florida, and then through the magic of very bad technology, they can put this stuff in here. And so I think a part of it is this campy value or something. I don't know. But anyway. And then just last year, I wrote a book called Facts from Space. It has all these great 850, 900 facts about all things in space: stars, planets, moon, galaxies, all stuff like that. And so I'll be outside if anybody's interested in getting one signed. I can talk to you guys afterwards about that. But I wanted to get to the topic of beyond. And there's nothing more beyond than the whole universe. And so what I thought we'd do is I'd show you guys a map of the universe. Now, what do I mean by that? Can somebody give me a definition of the universe? I like short definitions too. Infinity. I like that. How about infinity and beyond? That's redundant. I hate that phrase. How about everything? I mean, what does everything look like? And what's really cool is that I have a map of that. All the gases, all the masses, all the stars, all the planets, all the galaxies in one map. Let me show you. This is a program that is free and downloadable from the internet. This is called Mitaka. It's spelled M-I-T-A-K-A. And it's, totally free. There's only one problem. It only works on PCs. Sorry, I know. My crowd, my audience, they're like, oh, well, forget this. I'm out of here. I understand. They do have a Mac version, but it's not like they haven't got the bugs worked out on it. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to start here on the Earth, and we're going to fly out into space and show you what everything looks like. And so we're going to just fly right up off of the Earth. Here we go. Leaving the Earth behind, we come up to see our entire planet. And so we're going to get lots of different perspectives. Oh yeah, it's a Japanese program. So, well, yeah, it's nice. It's Japanese centered. That's good. And so we're going to get different perspectives on where you live, where your place is in this universe. And so we can look at different sides of the Earth here. We can look at different parts of the Earth. We can see what's going on here in Africa and Europe. And we can go over here where it's nighttime. And it's nighttime because the sun's on the other side, right over there. Make a little eclipse. That's cool. Now we can go anywhere in space, but we can also go anywhere in time. So I don't know why this Jupiter night keeps coming up. Well, let's get rid of that. Okay, there, that's better. So we can go anywhere in time. So I can move time forwards and show the Earth spin. And like Superman, go backwards. That always bothered me in the Superman movie. So what, he spun the world backwards. Why would time go backwards? Makes no sense. Anyway, let's go forward. And plus, the amount of energy that would take to do that is, it's not, just forget it. Let's move on. All right, so we're going to go up here to the North Pole, and we're going to leave the Earth behind and go out and see what's our next nearest neighbor in space. And our next nearest neighbor in space is the moon. And so this is step number one. This is our next journey. This is the farthest any human has gone. So Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, it took them 3 days to fly this distance to the moon right there. And here's the moon's orbit, the pathway around the Earth. And so we can move the moon forward, and here's the moon revolving around the Earth. And so, yeah, just the journey here. Now, this is surprising to a lot of people, how far away the moon is from the Earth. And that's if you don't get anything from my talk today, the theme is space is really big. Just to get nothing else. I also just talked to 5th graders yesterday, so I'm still kind of in that mindset. I'm sorry. But I've also learned that that's probably how I should talk to you. Is that right? Is that correct? Okay, just checking. I'm not going too fast yet, am I? So far, so good? Okay, all right, good. All right, so this is the farthest any human has gone. So where would we want to send our next generation of astronauts? Well, let's back it up. And now we're going to leave the Earth-Moon system behind. And then we're going to start to see that this curve, this is the Earth's orbit around the sun. And we can see the orbits of the other planets. There's Venus and there's Mars. And there's Mercury there. And now we get to see the sun. I'll put the sun in the center. And we can see our other planets. And now I can move time forward and watch how the planets go around the sun. And so the planets are all going around the sun the same direction, but they aren't going the same speed. The closer you are to the sun, the faster you go. This is something Kepler figured out 400 years ago without a telescope and made a map like this. And so the Earth takes 1 year to go around the sun, but each planet's a little different rate. And so Mercury takes 88 days. Oh yeah, and 5th graders love to know how old they are on other planets. I found that out. So, because I'm like, oh yeah, you're on Earth. How long have you been on Earth? And they're like, I'm 11 years old. I was like, oh, well, you've been around the sun 11 times. But if you're on Mercury, you'd be having 45 birthdays. They're like, whoa, man, that's old. That's crazy. And like on Mars, you'd be 6. They're like, whoa, what about Venus? What about Pluto? They love it. They love, sorry. It's like, that kills in the 5th grade classroom. Now, if we wanted to go somewhere, I think Mars would be the place to go. Venus, you're going to die instantly. That would be bad. Mercury, you're going to die very quickly. Mars, you'll suffer. But you'll survive. It's not good. None of these places you want to really go. But we're the only place in the whole universe that we know of where you can walk outside and not die on the Earth. Mars, you could wear a spacesuit and you wouldn't die. right away, but it's a place to go. Now, the only trick is that Earth and Mars aren't lined up very often. It's only every 2 years that you can launch a spacecraft there. And so every 2 years, or about 26 months, then you can send something there. And it looks like it's really close, like to go from Earth to Mars, but it takes you about 7 months. And so flying for 7 months through space in weightless conditions is not good for the body. And then when you get to Mars, you have to wait 1 year for Earth to come back around. And then you climb in your spacecraft and you go 7 months back to Earth. That's why they couldn't rescue Matt Damon. I don't even think they mentioned that, but that's why. They failed to mention that part. Because people would be watching, well, why don't they just go get him? He's right there, go get him. You can't. Oh, well. So, I won't talk about the space toilets, because you got to live in space. You have to go in space. You have to go to the bathroom. 5th graders love knowing about that too, but we'll skip over that for now. Because maybe someday you'll be asked to design a space toilet. I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. Beyond Mars, between Mars and Jupiter, is where we have thousands and thousands of rocks that go around the sun. 600,000 asteroids have been found going around the sun. Most of these have been found in the last 10, 20 years. And asteroids have all sorts of names. They're named after famous people and pets. Well, no, not pets. Famous people and musicians. And when we're looking down on this, we can see it from the side. We see this, everything's kind of lined up. But there's all these asteroids going out there. How they keep all of them straight, I don't know. But I had a great honor about a year and a half ago. I got one named after me. So asteroid 8815 is named asteroid Dean Regas. Oh, thanks. It was a great honor until then I realized, wait, there's 600,000 of them. But still, it's not bad. I'll take it. So at least I have a place to go somewhere. Now beyond that, we get to Jupiter, and then our outer planets. So we get to Saturn after that, Uranus, and Neptune. Oh shoot, I pronounced it the wrong way. Usually I pronounce this planet based on the maturity level of my audience. So Uranus and Uranus are both acceptable, but I was still in 5th grade mode, so I said Uranus. Uranus, I'm sorry. But anyway, either one is fine. Neptune then, and then afterwards, then we get to Pluto and Pluto's friends. Did I just hear a sigh? Is somebody still sad about Pluto? I know, when we were kids, Pluto was a planet, and now it is not a planet. How do you feel about that? I don't care. Pluto is not a planet. It's deserved it. It's out. Goodbye. Astronomers have always hated Pluto. We never liked it. It was always the weird one. It was the oddball. It was the rebel. We didn't like it. And so finally, we found a chance to get rid of it and make it not a planet. And the reason why is not because of any of those things. It's because our telescopes got better, and we found 1,400 other things out here. And 1,400 things that go around the sun, just like Pluto does, and they're all very similar to Pluto, and they kind of look like Pluto, and Pluto doesn't look like any other planet. So they had to make a decision. If Pluto stays a planet, then what are we going to do with the 1,400 other things? And how are the kindergartners going to memorize the 1,408 planets? So they made a kindergarten decision. They said, let's put like things with like things. Pluto gets lumped in with the other Plutoids, and that's what they are. All right, hopefully I sold you on that, but I probably didn't. Now, if you like Pluto because it was weird, there's a new weirdo. Sedna, which was found about 10 years ago, is an object almost as big as Pluto and has an orbit that takes it out this far. Now, at this distance, this is an incredible distance from Earth. Just to get to Pluto takes 9.5 years. We send a spacecraft from Earth to Pluto, 9.5 years just to get there. Sedna, way out here, goes out 10 times farther than that. And to see it moving, I have to move time forward 100 years at a time. And it goes slowly when it's far away, quicker when it's closer. It takes almost 12,000 years to go around the sun. Why doesn't everybody love Sedna? I mean, Pluto is so boring. There should be t-shirts that says Sedna is the new Pluto. It's ridiculous. We need a marketing campaign, and we need it now for Sedna. Maybe you guys can help. Maybe you can help. And so Sedna, its weirdness is telling us something. It's telling us that maybe there's something else out here that is making it move like that. And there's some astronomers that really believe there's another planet out here that they haven't seen called Planet 9, which is really cool that scientists can like predict where something is without seeing it. Of course, that also makes me think, is it there? And it doesn't count till you see it, but maybe well, in the next couple of years, we might have our 9th planet back. There could be something else really big out here. We do know that there are comets that live out here in what's called the Oort cloud, very far distance from the sun. And so these go around the sun, and our solar system reaches out to about 1 light year. That's the distance light travels in 1 year, or about 6 trillion miles. And then holding all this together is our sun. 1 star in our solar system, holding all this stuff together. And so if we want to go to the next level, we have to go to the next sun. And the next sun is quite a distance. It's called Alpha Centauri, and it's out about 4.3 light years away. There it is down there. And Alpha Centauri is a pretty cool system because it's not just 1 star. It's 3 stars that go around each other. You have 2 yellow ones that circle each other and 1 little red one that goes around the 2. So if you lived there, you'd have 3 suns in the sky. Does that sound like Star Wars, right? Except they only had 2 suns. That's lame. This has 3 suns. And so if you wanted to fly there to see the triple sunset of Alpha Centauri, it would take you a little bit of time. With the fastest spacecraft we've ever made, going about 47,000 miles an hour, it would still take you about 74,000 years to get there. Yes. As the 5th grader said yesterday, I'd be dead. Yes, you would be dead. That is correct. Long dead. I do like being morbid with 5th graders. I don't know, it's just something. I don't know what it is. Yeah, you would be dead, no doubt about it. No doubt. There'd be no coming back. Now this is our closest star to us, our closest star to the sun, but then these other stars are even farther, like Sirius is a star you can see at night now, Procyon and Vega and Arcturus, and we get all the way out to 100 light years away from Earth. And we got to think in 3 dimensions again, so all these stars are all around us. And then we back up some more to 1,000 light years, where we get into Polaris, Pleiades, Betelgeuse, and one of the farthest stars you can see with the naked eye, the star called Deneb right here. And so you can see the star from 17 quadrillion miles because it is one big honking star. And then you think, okay, that's pretty big. Are you getting intimidated a little bit? This is nothing. This is one tiny section of one part of one arm of our galaxy. And so this is the Milky Way from up above. This is what it would look like. And the Milky Way is a flattened pinwheel of 200 billion stars. 200 billion suns, and our sun is right there. And so we're not even in the center of this galaxy. We're out here, we're not downtown, we're in the burbs out here. We're not even close. And that's a good thing, because in the center, we don't want to be there. In the center, there's stars jam-packed. This is where most of the stars live in our galaxy. And at the very heart of our galaxy lies a deep, dark, mysterious object of incredible density. And anything that falls into it disappears. And it even warps space and time. It is the black hole at the center of the galaxy. Yeah. Don't mess with that. I mean, look, it even warps the lines on the program. That's pretty tough. This is dense. Again, like, I really like the details that this designer made on this, because we don't have actual pictures of black holes, but this is what we think it would actually look like if you're hovering above it and flying around it. Pretty cool. All right, well, let's back it up here. We'll get back out. And let's see here. There we go. Back it on up. So that's the center of our galaxy. And then we've got these other galaxies that are out here too. And so around the Milky Way, we have other galaxies that are nearby us, like the Canis Major Dwarf and Ursa Minor Dwarf and Draco Dwarf and the Magellanic Clouds. And then we back up some more and we can see that there's another galaxy out here called Andromeda. And the Andromeda Galaxy has 1 trillion stars in it. And this is where there's no easy way to explain distances in astronomy, but the best way I can think of with the Andromeda Galaxy is, okay, this is 1 trillion stars. Imagine our sun that you see during the day, multiply that light by 1 trillion. This galaxy is outside at night, and you can't see it. That's how far away this galaxy is. And that's one of our closer galaxies. There's other galaxies out here too, like Triangulum. That's just a mere 40 billion stars. That's nothing to talk about. And so we're the 3 big guys: Milky Way, Andromeda, and Triangulum. So we've got one more level to go, and that is the universe. And at this scale, every dot is not a star, every dot is a galaxy. And I can show you how many galaxies we have seen so far. Here we go. And that's the universe. Well, that's a little beyond, isn't it? Did I hit the topic? Did I hit the topic, Katie? Was that? All right, thanks. Now, thank you. So, well, I mean, this opens up a lot of questions. Number one, well, I guess the question would be, wow, astronomers have been busy, haven't they? They've really been doing some stuff. This is our map that we've been working on for 4,000 years, essentially. And every day we add something new to the map. Every day some new discovery is made. And so we add it on there. This is definitely not the whole thing. This is everything we've seen so far. And so some questions would be like, okay, that's big. Then what's outside this? Nobody knows. Because if we knew, we'd put it on the map. Are there other universes? Again, we don't know. We put it on the map. But there are a lot of people who think there are multiple universes, that out there there's other yous doing exactly what you're doing, except for you're not designers, you're bankers, which would be a horrible, horrible place. What a horrible universe. In another universe, I don't know what I would be. I don't know, but anyway, there could be other universes that are just out of phase with time with us, that they're really here, but we can't even see them. But that doesn't sound right. That right now has no evidence. There's no basis in it, but it's cool to think about. It's cool to think about. Right? It's more science fiction than science fact, but you never know what we're going to find with all this stuff out here. The other thing about this I will point out is that this is all, what I've shown you is all a lie. This isn't actually what the universe looks like. If you were a god looking down on the universe, it would not look like this. This is what it looks like for us in the center looking out at this. Because, oh man, this is going to be deep. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you can handle it. So when we're looking in space, we're also looking back in time. So it takes time for light to go from one place to the other. So when you look at the sun and you watch a sunset, the sun actually set 8 minutes earlier. But it took 8 minutes for the light to get to you. So you're only getting the information that late. When you look at stars, that's where they were years ago. When you look at the galaxies, that's where they were millions of years ago. When you look at this galaxy right here, that's where it was billions of years ago. It's not even there anymore. It's somewhere else. Or it could be gone altogether. And so right now, we cannot look outside of this bubble because we think the universe was created 13.8 billion years ago in the Big Bang. And so we can't see outside this bubble because that was before time existed. Oh man, that's deep. This is too early in the morning for this kind of talk. I'm sorry, I apologize. So, well, let me fly you back home real quick. It's getting a little cold out here, so we're going to target the Earth. And I know that there's no sound in space, but I do have a microphone, so I'm going to use sound effects. Here we go. And the moon, the moon, the moon. And so we went to the edge of the universe and back. It's now March 11, 17,891. Your families have been worried sick about you, but they've moved on. Now, so this program does a few different things to people, I think. I think number one, there's a little bit of it's like, you're kind of like, wow, but you're also like a scared wow. You're like kind of wanting to clap and you're like, holy crap. And this, I really love showing this program to high school kids especially, mostly because I like to knock them down a few pegs. It's mostly what I like to do, because they think they are the center of the universe, which is actually kind of true. But, because actually we are in the center of the universe, but that's a deeper thought. But like, this is kind of intimidating because you feel like, well, wait a second, if the universe is that big, where do I fit into this? And yes, I have to break it to you. You are a teeny, tiny, tiny creature living on a very small planet, circling around a mediocre star in a very average galaxy in a cold, dark universe. It's tough. I understand. I'll let you process that for a second. And so I actually had a very smart 8th grader tell me, like, Mr. Regas, how do astronomers deal with the depression? I was like, that's pretty good. Yes. And it can be very depressing if you really think about it, because what are you in the scheme of things? You're nothing. It's ridiculous. You're nothing. But how do we deal with the depression? Astronomers deal with the depression by discovering more stuff, which seems completely counterintuitive. But it's because they feel like, okay, sure, all right, we're tiny. We get that. That's fine. But look at what we've done for teeny tiny creatures. We can send people to the moon. We can build rockets. We can make telescopes. We don't even need to leave the Earth. We can make telescopes and study stars trillions of miles away. We can tell you what that star is made of. We can tell you if there's planets around that star. We can tell you its temperature. We can actually take our imaginations to these places. We can make an entire map of the universe. We can put it on a computer, and some guy with glasses can show it to you. That's pretty good, teeny tiny creatures. And for me, astronomy is the best subject because it's always changing. We're always finding new stuff. There's always something new that's out there to discover, because in this universe, I mean, there's enough galaxies. We're talking there's probably 2 trillion galaxies in the universe. I mean, everybody can have a galaxy. Go ahead. You can all get galaxies. It's great. And there's always more things to study. And just learning about what's in our galaxy is amazing. Learning about what's on the moon is amazing. And so I just feel so privileged to work in this field. I really, this is like the coolest thing ever to me, as you probably can tell. And so I hope that this kind of gets you thinking about this too. It's just of just perspectives, I guess. And trying to get, people you work with and work for to think in different perspectives too. I would really love to show this program to every politician, just to show them okay, so your district is there. And I think it would have a pretty good impact. I don't know. I'd love to have a talk with certain political leaders just to show them that, because wouldn't you? All right, I'll say it. Because when you hear way out, sorry, I can't even say it with a straight face. Because I'm going to mention a name I said I was never going to mention in public. Because from way out here, you can't see Trump Tower. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't. It doesn't work. I can't even do it with a straight face. Anyway, so, I wanted to leave some time for questions you guys might have about anything in the universe. I got it all here. So if there are any questions, yeah, I was thinking, yes, the UFO expert.
You know that I have to pose this question.
Okay.
Just like people like to check out themselves on the internet and do their own searches. Have you found your asteroid?
The asteroid on the program, no, because I can't do a search for that specific. But one of our members took a picture of it with amateur astronomers are amazing. They buy their own telescopes, their own camera equipment, and so somebody got a picture of it. It looks like a little dot, but it looks lovely. I can't wait to visit someday. Yeah, back there in the back. Yes.
As we're going, is that based on the equipment that we're using to?
Yeah. This.
Or is that just the way the light is refracted in the model?
No. Good question. Yeah, this butterfly-looking shape. There's two things going on here. One is that this line here. This is the plane of our galaxy, so we can't see through all those stars yet. So it's like you're looking at a forest full of trees. You can't look through the forest very far because of those billions of stars in our way. And I say yet we can't look through it when just last month they started looking through it. So they figured it out. The other parts, the other holes in this is because they ran out of money. Get more money, we fill in the rest of this, then we'll know what all is out there. It's not going to be long. The money is almost there, and there's these new fleet of telescopes that are coming up are unbelievable. There's this telescope that's going to be funded by Google that's going to map the entire sky 4 times a month. Like everything we've just done, this took 4,000 years. Google will do it in 1 month, 4 times in a month. And it'll be on the internet, and you'll be able to search it. It's still a few years away, but it's getting there. Other questions? Yes? Oh, thank you. I almost forgot. Wait, don't tell anybody yet. So August 21st, something very special is going to happen. Who knows? Well, I'm waiting for my program. Okay, this is my other program, Starry Night. This can show us what's up in the sky anytime we want. Another interestingly designed program. Let's see. August 21st. Okay, August 21st of this year, there's the sun, and there we go. And this is going to happen. Whoop, I lost it. Hold on. Okay. That looks cool. This is a solar eclipse, and so in Cincinnati, on that day at about 2:30, that much of the sun's going to be blocked out. So 90% of the sun is going to be blocked out. We have not had a good solar eclipse in Cincinnati probably since 2000.
That's August 22nd?
August 21st is a Monday. Now, wait, how many of you all are like freelancers? All right, so every day's a day off, so that's fine. But if you have, if you have an office, or if you have to go in the office, play hooky. Don't go to work that day, because it will be pretty impressive. Because in Cincinnati, it'll be 90% blocked. But let's say you go to somewhere nearby, like I don't know, a place with a good music scene, Nashville. And you fly down to Nashville really quickly. There we go. Then you get a total solar eclipse. And take the day off to go to Nashville. That's right. Well, now there's a strip of land anywhere from Oregon. It's about 75-mile wide strip from Oregon to South Carolina that you can be on. So it goes through like Jackson Hole. It goes through St. Louis, Kansas City, but south of us, and then through Charleston too, South Carolina. So you can go to any of these places and see a total solar eclipse. And it is pretty amazing. I've seen one in my life, and it is crazy because the sky turns this weirdest color you've ever seen. It's purpley, but you think like this is very apocalyptic, and then all of a sudden you look up and the sun is gone. There's a black hole where the sun was, and you can see this wispy corona of the sun coming outside of it. You can see stars in the middle of the daytime. The temperature drops like 15 degrees almost instantly. It is weird. And people start going crazy. Like you hoot and holler and like lose your mind because it is like nothing else. And then it only lasts 2 minutes. And then the sun comes back out and it's over. And you think, did that just happen? So I highly encourage you to see the total eclipse. 90% is not 90% of the experience. It's like 10% of the experience. Plus, if it's 90%, you can't look at it. It's the sun, you'll go blind. Didn't your parents tell you that? You can't do it. So you got to get a special eclipse glasses and that type of stuff. But I'd highly recommend it. We have not had a total solar eclipse in the United States since the 70s. And I'm not exactly sure what the public is going to do with this. Like, I have a feeling maybe people will wake up Monday morning and look at their Twitter and be like, holy crap, there's an eclipse today. I'm going to drive down to Nashville. And then everybody drives down to Nashville and then you won't get there. You know, it's like there's going to be, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. It could be pandemonium. It could be like people like, well, I'll just see a 90%, whatever. I'll go blind. I'll look at it. But I don't know. So it's going to be weird. I haven't decided where I'm going because I want to go where it's sunny. So I'm not going to promise I'm going anywhere. I'm going to drive wherever I got to drive. So wherever it's going to be clear, that's where I'm going to go. We'll see. But thanks. I forgot to mention that. Let's see. Other questions? Way in the back.
Where's the best place in the world that you've been where you can just walk outside at night and like the best view of the...
Yeah, where's the best view of the night sky? That's a really tricky question. I think Upper Peninsula, Michigan is pretty amazing. That's for sure. That's one of the closest places to us because we have a lot of cities and the light pollution is pretty bad in the Midwest. But yeah, the farther away you can get from city lights, the better. I've had a lot of great experiences viewing from Crater Lake, Oregon also. That's kind of out of the middle of nowhere. But yeah, Upper Peninsula, Michigan is pretty awesome. That's for sure. Yeah, great, because it's hard for us to picture what a real starry sky looks like. And when you see it, yeah, it's really inspiring.
Have you been to the Dark Sky Park up in the Headlands?
No, I haven't been to that one. Locally, our members go out to Stone Lick State Park, so it's a park east of the city. And so they have, it's dark enough that you can see the Milky Way, but they set up telescopes there a couple times a month. It's really kind of fun. Yeah. Other questions? Yes?
So, no disrespect meant by this question at all. But other than making us feel really small and just being cool, what does astronomy do for us?
Yeah, that is a good question. Yeah, I mean, I know, here we are up in our ivory observatories, lording it over you how important we are, but what do we actually contribute to society? I get what you're saying. I was going to give you some BS answer, but let me know. Okay, well, I think I'll go with the flowery answer first, is that I think it does inspire people. When we look back on our art and culture, if you go back really far, like almost all of our art and architecture have something to do with astronomy. Like if you look at the pyramids, they were designed to map out the directions. You got to know your astronomy to do your directions. Some of the pyramids were made with shafts where the pharaoh or whoever was buried there could look outside the pyramid, even though he's dead, and he's looking outside the hole to see his star. And like the people who made Stonehenge, they were making this to celebrate astronomy. There's something inspiring about it. And so for me, it's like this is part of our DNA. This was our way that we tried to make sense of where we are. Everything is chaotic, but yet the stars made sense. Like you could know that star is going to rise there every day, and I know it's going to be there, and wow, okay, maybe I'm going to get eaten by a lion, but I know that star is going to be there. There's some certainty, and that led us to being scientific peoples. Astronomy was the first science. And I think it inspires our art, inspires our literature. I remember the art museum, oh man, you guys you used to have, the first thing you walked in to see at the art museum was this very ancient statue that had the zodiac on it. And I always used to be like, yeah, you go to the art museum, first thing you see, astronomy. Then you guys took it away. I don't know, where is that thing anyway? Where'd you guys, anyway.
Dean, don't ignore the value of navigation.
Well, there's navigation, there's that. We got, well, and then I was going to get into the technology part. There is that idea of NASA and the space program as being, people get kind of a little worked up, like, oh my gosh, we spent all this money to send rockets into space, and what does it do for us? Well, I do kind of like my phone, and that happens because of space exploration. Big advances in technology happen because of that kind of stuff. And so there's a tangible element to it. Technological progress has been made a lot by these space missions. But I think you're right. I think there's lots of different levels for me. I think it's really moving. I think it's like an adventure to do this stuff and to find this stuff. So for personally, I think it's just so fulfilling. I think it's like, I don't know if you've ever like fallen in love with inanimate objects, but I kind of have a crush on the Cassini spacecraft. This is a spacecraft that's circling around the planet Saturn. It's been there since 2004, and its mission is almost over. It's going to crash into Saturn in September, and I'm going to be very sad. Because if you want to waste a good day, go to the Cassini website and look at the beautiful pictures of Saturn's rings. Like, if you can't get moved by that, I'm sorry, you're dead inside. It's so inspiring, I think. And so I know we spend a lot of money, we spend a lot of time on space programs, but I just like when I see people getting inspired by it, that's what kind of gets me. And NASA needs a good PR person. They really need somebody to get, because nobody knows about this Cassini spacecraft, but it's like, anyway, don't get me started. I'm going to get choked up because it's dying. It's dying. Anyway, other questions? Yeah.
So in the first program, the universe model was like this ball.
Yes.
And it seemed like Earth was in the center.
Yeah.
And that was our boundary of the ball. If we picked a different center, like one of those outer galaxies, can the universe then be bigger?
Yes. So,
It shows that I understand nothing.
No. Trust me, at this level, nobody understands it. Because this is the thing, is how do you picture infinity? How do you picture this is our best way that we can picture what everything looks like. But even this is flawed, that's true. So there's two ways that you can look at this. One is that the universe is infinite, and so that means that in that direction, space goes on forever. That direction, space goes on forever. Everywhere you look, space goes on forever. And that means wherever you are the observer, you're the center. So, I'm still in the center. If I move over here, I'm still in the center. Does that make you feel any better? But that's one way to look at it. But the other thing is, this is not exactly real. This is our best understanding of it. But there is no edge to the universe. It's everything. And that doesn't make any sense to anybody because we're only mortals. But yeah, anybody that says they explain infinity is ridiculous. Yeah, they're lying. This is our best way. Yeah.
So the 13.8 billion light years, that kind of edge,
Yes.
that's the furthest that we can see anything existing, right?
Yes.
And then, so if we think that that is the age of the universe, does that mean that as time goes on, we will actually be able to see more and more?
That's a good question. Ooh, that's deep. So yeah, as time goes on, this stuff is going to get farther and farther away from us. And so the universe is constantly getting bigger, which again doesn't make a lot of sense because it's everything. So how can everything get bigger? Well, it's bigger everything, I guess. And these things are moving away from us at tremendous speed. So these are moving farther away. So if we come back 1,000 years from now, yeah, this will be out even farther. Yep. And there's a depressing part about this is that the old theory was that this Big Bang sent everything out there, and the gravity of all this stuff would bring it all back together into a big crunch and bring it all back to one spot, and then it might be a Big Bang again. And maybe this very cyclical thing, which leads you to think, how many times have we done this before? How many times have you been in this room and heard me give me this talk? But now the downer astronomers have figured out the stuff is flying away with such speed that gravity is not going to bring it back, and that it's going to fly out into space and get farther and farther apart, and eventually the temperature of everything will be close to zero and all life will be gone in 100 trillion years. Yeah, that's really a downer. I like the crunch and then the bang, the crunch and the bang thing. And so in 10 years we might find out that's right. Everything comes into fashion. So right now it's the expansion to everything and we all die and all that. But we'll be back to the crunch again, I'm sure. We'll figure that out. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, one more? Okay, sorry, yeah, go.
Some of your fifth graders last week said that your job is pretty depressing.
Yes.
With this, all this mass, time, and space, what do you think is more depressing? That if we're more, not depressing, but more surprising or scary or more emotive, if we're alone in all of this or we're not alone?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, so I think this program leads you to believe that there's no way we could be the only creatures out here. How could the Earth be the only place where life would exist? If you have 2 trillion galaxies, each with 200 billion stars, with who knows how many planets, how can this be the only place? I mean, what a waste of space. It's ridiculous. But at the same time, we have no actual evidence that the creatures live anywhere else other than Earth. I would think, but I don't go out on a limb very often, but I will say that the 21st century is going to be marked by the time we discover life somewhere else. I feel very confident that we're going to find life forms somewhere off of the Earth. Well, I got 83 years. Okay, so it's not going out on a limb too far, but I think that's going to be the story of the century, and we're going to find life. I think we might find it closer to home than we ever thought. I think Mars could have life forms currently. It could most likely have fossilized life. We've got the moon called Europa that's going around Jupiter that has water in liquid form, more water there than we have on Earth. We got a moon around Saturn called Enceladus that has geysers of water shooting off into it. Water is more plentiful than we ever thought, and planets are more plentiful than we ever thought. We found over 3,000 planets around other stars already. And so I think it's likely we're going to find life, and I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. And I think that's pretty exciting. So, well, thank you guys so much. Thank you very much for having me here today. This was a lot of fun. And we'd love to have you come visit the observatory. And I'll be outside if you guys want to check out the book, too, the Facts from Space book. But thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.